Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Hello, lovelies. You see my doggy? Well, there's Lincoln right there. He's having a little rest. And there's my wood-burning stove. And it's raining cats and dogs outside. I don't know what your weather's like, but ours, it's been raining. Anyway, and that wind, that little fan that you see going, what we discovered that if you don't, your windows will crack if you have too much heat going. So not a good discovery, but now that's how our solution, right? For at least for right now. Yes, Amber and Jenny both have snow. Well, we have rain. A lot of it. It was just almost torrential today. So, and you can see my pickleball shoes drying there right by the fire. Got wet on the way out, even though we played indoors. How is your first sprint going, by the way? And I see Catherine and Patsy, which delights me to no end. Thank you so much for showing up and for being here on this lovely grayish Tuesday. Jackie, hello. It's so good to have you here. Yeah, anyway, so, it is sprint time. It is our first sprint of 2024. And I don't know about you, but I'm just so grateful that it's here. That's kind of my anchor. It's my landing place. It's my foundational thing. And the holidays, as much as you try and stay the course, you're still going to get things just a little bit wackadoodle, right? I will tell you right now, if you have not started with our Hot Melt Sprint, it is 100% free. You need to download it. You can go to savingdinner.com/hub. At the hub, it's at the hub, right? That's where you're going to see the webinar that explains all the principles behind the sprint. That's where you can download it. That's where you're going to find all kinds of stuff, including the kits that we have. Lincoln's just, alrighty, Linky, just lay down, take a good time. Catherine's saying hi. Catherine said hi, Linky. Anyway, so that's basically, how this whole thing works as far as the sprint is concerned. Plus, we have a really screaming deal for you going on right now, and I don't know how much longer, but if you buy our Crave water, you will get a Crave powder for free. Now, I like this because there's two things that work here. Well, there's several things that work here. First of all, I love L-glutamine for what it does for our cravings. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. You know that, right? What it does is it just knocks out that desire that we all have. No, Lincoln. Oh, no, no, Lincoln, cut it. He was going to hump his bed, y'all. And I just don't want that on camera. I'm sorry. Yeah, you just sit here and be a good doggy. Anyway, can't have that. Anyway, the Crave water is just really good for that because it's L-glutamine and it tastes like lemonade. It's quite tasty. I've got it in my water bottle right now, along with our over 40 water. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But the Crave water is it's delicious and it's going to take care of those cravings. This is Lincoln knocking the table. I'm sorry, you guys. His tail is wagging. The other thing that I like about it is it makes your muscles feel so much better. Sore muscles, new program, whatever, sore muscles hurt, don't they? So we'd like to be able to knock that out. And Anne, hello, it's good to see you. I just saw that you were here. So Anne's here as well. So sore muscles heals your gut and helps with cravings. Can there be anything better? The Crave powder, which is just plain straight L-glutamine without any flavoring whatsoever, you can put in your smoothie. You can put it in a little dish and put it on your gums and your tongue for instant craving relief when you have a tiny little craving coming aboard. It makes a big, big difference. So those two together, that is like the best deal. So buy your Crave water and get Crave powder 100% free. You can find that at savingdinner.com/CW. Jocelyn, hello. Glad to have you here. Anyway, that's what we have this week. Also, you can get our Over 40 water. Over 40 water is found at savingdinner.com/40. Okay, Lincoln, come on. You're a big doggy. You are big. And let me just tell you about Over 40 water. I've told you about it a little bit, but it has the ingredients in it are crazy good for all the things. After we hit a certain age, we start losing our energy levels. We start there's issues that we have to deal with. Brain fog, losing energy, low libido. What else are we dealing with? We're dealing with our hair, skin, and nails, drier hair, skin, and nails. Collagen doesn't develop as much. All of these things are hit, and those boxes are checked with Over 40 water. Now, if you've ordered Over 40 water, I'm going, where is it? We had some label issues, and we had to redo the labels. So I apologize for that, but we had something in there. When we saw it come through, we went, whoa, wait a minute, let's fix this. So we are in the midst of fixing it. It's going to be going out, no worries. We always take care of you, you know that. Okay, so savingdinner.com/40 if you want some Over 40 water. You're going to love it. You're going to love it, love it, love it. The thing is we have to hydrate, right? So why not hydrate on purpose and having every sip be doing something other than just putting water into your body? It's great. It tastes good. And you're not going, ugh, water again. That's the whole thing. I love our quote of the week. It is from Jen Sincero. She's How to Be a Badass. That was one of her things. It is success is not about your circumstances. It's about who you're being. And that is one of the secrets, isn't it, to success in this whole world is how we identify. And if we identify ourselves as losers, if we identify ourselves as someone who just doesn't get it or whatever, we will perpetuate that. And that's who we will be, not just become, but that's who we will be as they're on the regular. So keep this in mind and always ask yourself this question: who am I showing up as? Okay, he wants me to hold his phone. Here he is. I'm going to hold his phone. Linda, hello. It's so good to have you here. But think about this one. This is a great quote to drop into your journal and to really contemplate and think about thoroughly. That's a good one. But today, what we're going to talk about is have you ever heard the expression burn the boats? We're going to talk about that and unload that and unpack it into what our lives look like. So, honestly, when we make this decision that we're going to burn the boat, we're making a different decision for our lives, and we really are pivoting on a very clear decision that is going to move us into the direction that we, want to go. This is an old expression. You've probably heard it before, and it's a historical reference as well. Back in Grecian times, when they had an objective, when they were out to go capture different lands and what have you, they had a commander gave the order after they landed where they were landing to burn the boats, literally to burn the boats. And that was to say that we are entering and committed to this mission, and there's no other option. We are going to handle our objective and complete our objective because there's no other option. Hi, Alice. It's good to have you here. So they're going to do this. There's no possibility of retreating. And, think about it. Raise your hand. How often do we retreat when things start to get a little bit uncomfortable? Well, if we burn the boat, we can't. And so we need to start looking at the boats that need burning in our lives. And we need to start thinking about in terms of how committed can we possibly be? How much are we going to, do the work that it's going to take to accomplish our objective, to get to our goal, to make things happen. So this is, basically it's a situation where you have no choice. It's a situation where this needs to happen. It's a situation where you can't turn back. Now, I've done this before. I know you probably have too, but I've done this before, like with some certain business decisions. I remember a long time ago, probably a good 10 years ago, I made a decision to be a part of what they call a mastermind. And it was one of the best things I had ever done because it leveled up. It's more than that. It was probably 15 years ago. It leveled up everything. I learned so much, and I was like, I didn't know this about email marketing. I didn't know this about, what I needed to do with my website. I didn't know all of these different things that I needed to know. And it helped, and it raised and leveled up my business. So I was doing things better, smarter. And I honestly had no choice, because I remember as I was writing the check, my hand was shaking. But I was committed to burning the boat, because I didn't want to keep doing things on repeat where it was like, learning the hard way. Why not learn from somebody who's already been there, done that, and gotten the t-shirt, right? This is why people come to see nutritionists. This is why people do a program that have so many testimonials, because they want to go with something that's worked before. But I will tell you, and I thought about this as well. Our Sprint, I think, is one of the most valuable programs on the planet. It's all based on science. It has everything behind it. And oftentimes it's just like glanced over. What if I charged for it? What if I said that's $197 for that incredible program with all that science behind it? And here's all the things that you get with it. Blah, 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 blah. What if I did that? And I thought about it, because I've noticed that we value things that we pay for, and things that make us shake a little bit as we are making that payment, things that make us think, ugh, but I'm going to do this anyway. It's burning the boat is what it is. Now, I'm not going to ever do that with the Sprint. I want to have it available to everyone, because I think it's a valuable program, but I also would love people to value it and see it for all that it can do, and how it can completely change the whole trajectory of your life, because it can. And you've seen the testimonials of everybody that has done it. So if we are all about then removing the safety nets and the backup plans that might tempt us to go back into our comfort zone, then we need to understand that if we're not going to do that, then we're really not committed to the task at hand. And this mindset that we need to acquire of burning the boats applies in various different parts of our lives, doesn't it? I mean, obviously, the biggest one that you can see is whatever your goals are for that year, but it applies all the way. Now, let's talk about work. What about work? What if you had a goal that you wanted to reach a certain level of your career, or there was something that you wanted, something more that you wanted, that you were shooting for the stars or whatever? And in order to do that, they said, well, you have to have an MBA. So you were thinking, okay, so I'm going to enroll back in school. I'm going to get this thing done, and this is what I'm going to do. And you commit to that, because it's a big investment. It's a time thing where there's a lot of time invested as well. And it's a risk. There's always a risk involved when you burn a boat, by the way. But when you do this, it means that you are totally 100% committed to investing in yourself. And that's what this whole thing means. It means that you are aligning with a new identity of yourself. And that's a huge, big, big deal. Hi, Lynn. Think about that one. Because when you are doing this kind of thing, and when you're putting your money where your mouth is, I know you've heard that one before. What you're saying is, I'm all in. There's no backup plan. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go and I'm going to push all the way through, even in the discomfort. Even when I'm hungry, even when I don't want to do this, even when I want to skip my workout or whatever. We're in the character building place. And I want to make one other point too, which, we oftentimes talk about the comfort zone and leaving it behind and all of that. When we're in the place of growth, we are in the place of discomfort. It's not lovely. It's not great all the time. But we're not always in that place of growth. We're in that struggling place, and then we get to enjoy the fruits of our labor, until it's time to push again for another level of growth. That's just the circle of life right there. That's just how it works. If we are to attain the rich, vibrant, fully bloomed life that we want, it's going to be a cycle of growth, enjoying the fruit of that labor, and then growth again, and then pushing and up leveling, and then enjoying it again. It's not always living a life of discomfort. I want to put that out there because I think it's really important to understand. For somebody who's starting a business, we have a bunch of people who did NutriCoach for a while there, and it involved them investing in themselves with the course, with what it was they were going to do, starting new things like going out there and giving business cards out, going to a mixer for business at a local restaurant or something, and introducing people to yourself. Do all kinds of stuff. I had a million ideas for all these NutriCoaches because I counseled them one-on-one, but it was a significant shift, and for a lot of these NutriCoaches, significantly uncomfortable. But what they've noticed was this was how you built and created a business. It's never easy. It's never about just showing up. It's also about showing up, doing the work, networking, getting your name in there, being a part of, and kind of pushing the envelope a little bit. And that's also a burning your boat thing, because when you're doing this, right, you're saying, this is my option. This is the thing that's going to support this family or do whatever. And it does a big push on you. The other thing is personal goals, of course. Now, if you decide that you're going to go run a marathon, well, have fun with that. But you think about it. What do you have to do with that? Well, the first thing that you do is announce, hey, I'm going to run a marathon. Then you go sign up for this marathon months out, obviously, so you can train. And then you're going to tell people about this marathon that you're doing, because that's putting you into the place of accountability, right? And that's a structure right there. That's a framework on how you can get things done. And it makes a big, big difference. Okay, Lincoln, here he comes again. It makes a big, big difference on your mindset. If you say that you're going to do something and then you don't do anything about it and you tell people about it, that isn't burning the boat. That's kind of just maybe loosely tethering it to the dog. So that's not what you want to do. The other thing is bad habits. Now, I have a lot of people that I've coached with quitting smoking, believe it or not, because of Crave Water and all the rest. Come on, Lincoln. Come on. Come on. And so that, quitting smoking, that's very obvious. That means that you're not going to sit there and have cigarettes sitting out on your countertop saying, well, I just might have to go back to them. Why do we do that with like the Oreos and the chips and all of that kind of garbage? Why do we have that kind of stuff around? Well, it means that you got to throw away the things that are the problem. Those are the boats that need to get burned, right? The cigarettes, the lighters, the ashtrays, whatever, that all needs to go, because you need to shift your identity into a non-smoker. Non-smokers don't have ashtrays and cigarettes hanging around. And so that is a requirement of it. And that's your burning of the boat. And then when it comes to sprinting, it's ditching the crap that's, in your house. You got to ditch the crap. And when you do that, in essence, you're burning the boat. And when you tell everybody this is what you're doing, you're burning the boat as well, because now you're adding an additional layer of accountability. And if you take pictures and you post them and you're getting out there and you're making yourself fully vulnerable, like they say, opening the kimono, that is another rendition, if you will, of burning the boat. But this is a strong way, when you think about burning the boat, and you can write that down in your journal and even think about it of how this is ensuring your commitment to your goal when you burn the boat. And then you think about, what can I do instead? If you're like dumping the Oreos and you're thinking, oh my gosh, now it's 3:00 in the afternoon and I usually have, a cup of coffee and 4 Oreos. What am I going to do instead? Well, maybe you add in something different, because even though you burn the boat, you can still walk, right? You can still walk. So you go outside and take a walk, something along those lines. But what this does is it forces you to rely on yourself, to dig into the grit that's already there and the strength you already have, so that you can execute on the action plan needed to make those goals happen. And so, one thing I want to mention too is, we're thinking about this. I'm not just saying this is like a Nike ad, just do it. It's not. You have to think about this, and you have to psychologically prepare yourself. So you think about, what is this going to require? Like if you're sprinting, what is this going to require? Well, this is going to require that this is what my pantry needs to look like. This is what my hydration station needs to look like. This is when I'm going to be able to tuck that exercise, that 4-minute workout in, or whatever it is that we're doing. And this is the thing that I'm going to, need in order to get this all done. That preparation is part of the mental and physical preparation, so that when you go out to that dock and you burn your boat, you're ready. You don't just burn the boat without a thought. You burn the boat with a plan. And that's, that's how women rise to that level of an up-leveled, vibrant life, living fully bloomed and being the queen of your own life and your own dream as well. So that's it. That's all I have for you today. But, I hope that was helpful, because as we go into 2024, I believe, every year that goes by, as I think about it, in my own life, the level of commitment that's necessary in order to get to the next place is a lot. And the requirement is there for all of us. So don't take it lightly. Take it seriously, because this is going to give you exactly what it is that you want. And I want you to have every single thing that's on your dream list. Okay? Here's to a great 2024. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for showing up. It really is my pleasure to be here. Don't forget, if there's any announcements that you've missed, go to savingdinner.com/announcements. Don't forget also, go get your Crave water, because if you buy your Crave water right now, you're going to get your Crave powder free. It's at savingdinner.com/CW, as in Crave water. And the announcements page, we have the daily dish, where to get all the old daily dishes, and you can watch whatever you want with the show notes. It's all right here in the comments. Peace be with you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.